Hey everyone, my name is Rooster and welcome back to Mechabellum. In today's video I want to talk about and highlight the tower buffs because recently it seems like the Mars have been using them more and more with great success, and so that's what today is going to be all about. Now I'll be up against Yes Win Big, who is one of the strongest 501 players, often hoarding the #1 spot for that region. So yeah, very powerful player that I'm up against. And I'll be starting with a Tarantula opener here. I wanted to actually play standard, but I think none of my packs really allowed for it, so here we are. And I still think spider packs are quite decent. I'm going to have the fangs as well, so those are going to go in front, and I'm going to be up against fangs and steel balls, where my opponent purchases 2 arc lights round 1, which makes total sense. Looks like he's going to be opting to go symmetrically here. I typically prefer placing the steel balls in the middle myself, but he will probably end up selling these anyway. Now we're intensive training specialists, so I'm going to intensively train my spider here on round 1, and then I might add something like Void Eyes for the DPS, because I think Void Eyes are quite useful on round 1. They provide a lot of damage, and they tend to do really well into these like mid-sized unit packs like steel balls. Now my opponent is a Fire Badger specialist, for those who were wondering, and yeah, that's pretty much going to be my first round here. Let's see, I should be favored. This Fang in the middle will be pulling most of his units towards the center, so that way I'm not going to be losing my tower at a very unfortunate moment during the first round. And we could probably speed things up a little bit here, as yeah, we should just be able to win with the spiders killing the steel balls, taking down the tower, and then that'll be all she wrote for the first round. So happy with that, but opponent does have a fair bit of hit points to go through, so might be a longer type of game. Round number 2, deployment module shows up, quick teleport and improved phoenix are all cards that I'm considering here. I could, for instance, try to redeploy like one of my spiders to the right side. I could keep hold of it and then try to go for some like flank plays and move a spider up and down. All of that is fine. I could also try to flank with quick TP, or if I want to go for a more scaling option, I could take the improved Phoenix. And this game I decided to go for the improved Phoenix. Gonna be leveling my spider here, and this is probably just going to be a chaff turn for me. So yeah, triple crawler, what I'm going to go for. And I decide to stack them all on one side, and as you can see, my opponent went for the deployment module and attacks my right side tower with a steel ball. I probably should have placed one crawler here behind the tower just to prevent this type of thing, because it is kind of common for opponents to try and attack your right tower on round 2. But yeah, we're gonna get debuffed. Oil has been used as well. Opponent sold a steel ball and bought a storm, so this is not looking too good. Stormcallers recently have been exceptionally powerful. They've been used a lot, both in defense and in standard, sometimes even in aggro, because of that AP tech that has become so cheap and provides so much damage for little to no investment. And yeah, this is kind of exactly what I would expect from my opponent in this type of like defensive situation. I've been making use of the Stormcallers myself too, a bunch against Sabers and Tarantulas alike, and yeah, they're just really, really strong. So yeah, we're gonna get slowed down, 46k damage on that unit here. And then round number 3, we get unit reinforcements with 2 giants offered, a Phantom Ray, and then a Hound as well. Opponent picks up the Melting Point. I think for me, Melting Point is something you can pair with Tarantula, but I already picked the improved Phoenix, so that would be a bit weird. I don't think Fortress here would do well. I mean, it's up against Fangs, Stormcallers, and potentially a Melting Point. So I was really thinking more so about the Phantom Ray and then maybe the Hound. And the conclusion I come to is, okay, I'm getting oiled. Opponent is already investing into Stormcallers, and there might be something like a Melter showing up this turn. I don't think it's going to be too easy for me to keep playing Tarantula. So what if we just try to sell out of them and then play Hound instead? Because we just got 4 Hound deployments, and that allows me to get into range right away. It does mean I have to delay purchasing a Phoenix for a bit, which maybe is a mistake. Perhaps I should have just sold the Phantom, bought some Phoenixes and invested into Tarantula. But I decided to try and, well, make this work instead. That way I am transitioning into small units, and small units should be, in theory, better into things like Storm and Melter. So yeah, just a chaff turn here, kind of going onto the right side of the board as well. One Hound is going to find its way onto that left flank, trying to pull some fangs, perhaps kill some chaff. Opponent uses his Fire Badger to set that oil on fire. And yeah, this will probably result in a round loss. I don't really have the damage to take down this melting point, which already has range, by the way. But I felt like going Hound Phoenix in the long term should be a really, really good counter to the Melters. And in the meantime, my Hounds get to get some really valuable experience, because the awkward bit about Hound is it's unable to one-shot Crawler at equal level. And so getting that level ahead of your opponent's Crawlers is very, very important. So we will take a loss, but it's not too bad. I mean, I'm still sitting quite comfortably above 4k. And round number 4, we have a choice of some really good buff items here. Improved Firepower and Amp Core, both worth considering. Amp Core picked up for my opponent. Makes sense. I mean, he does have a Giant, so I was somewhat expecting this. I could have gone for Improved Firepower and thrown it onto a Phoenix, but I felt like I would probably have enough damage with that 20% bonus attack anyway. So instead I decided to pick up the redeployment. That way we can move some stuff around from left to right or up and down the flank. And that should just be useful overall. Opponent picks up Arc Lights with range. And I decide to finally go for some Phoenixes here, double stacking them on the side of that Melter. We're also going to level one of the Phoenixes immediately, so now we've got a level 2, about 7k damage per shot. We take that first attack enhancement, and if we just manage to lock on to the Melter, we should be in a decent spot. Let's see, can the Hounds get in? I will say though, I only have one Hound pack on this left side for now, so perhaps a little bit precarious, we'll have to see. Seems like, sadly though, a couple Fangs have managed to get right in front of the Melter, so my Phoenixes are getting stuck on one Crawler pack in the middle, and none of them are managing to lock onto that Melter. That is not exactly how I was hoping things would go. And yeah, right side you can see that Crawler breakpoint is really causing some issues. And this is where the Tower Attack Enhancement and Tower Defense Enhancement conversation comes in. There's been a lot of Heimdall games recently where people pick up the second Defense Enhancement, especially against things like Arc Lights and things like Hounds. And the reason is, when you take second Defense Enhancement, as long as your opponent hasn't matched the attack as well, the Arc Lights won't be able to kill same level Crawlers. And of course the same will apply to Hounds to an even greater extent, where I might try to go Attack Enhancement 2 to try and kill level 1 Crawlers, but my opponent can kind of match and go Defense Enhancement 2 as well. Just generally speaking, these stats have been showing up a lot and looking mighty strong. Now, we luckily get some levels on our Hounds, and yeah, you will see me pick up Attack Enhancement 2 because I wanted to try and make sure that my units would kill his chaff. And then on top of that, of course, it's just nice to have the bonus damage because this Melter is starting to get rather tanky, and if I can take it down quickly, then I'd happily do so. Gonna redeploy one Phoenix kind of to the right here because it was getting stuck and was trying to pressure the right side tower. And then we're going to add more chaff to the board. Opponent going for some wasps here. So he's doing some really like heavy tempo plays, using the oil, using that redeployment to attack my tower, also to defend the flanks. And now he's going to buy some wasps to 1, defend the flank, and 2, try and grab a tower debuff, which looks like it will be successful. I'm still kind of working on my board here. Like, I got the second attack enhancement, which is nice, but I probably will want Mech Rage. I might need range on my Phoenixes. I might need charge shots down the line if more Melters show up. And so, yeah, we are going to get debuffed. Right side looks fine. Keep in mind, these Phoenixes are way tankier than normal Phoenixes, so we might be able to kind of brute force these Wasps. Looks like we will be able to, at least on the left, or on the right, excuse me. On the left, it's not looking that good. We even lose a shield, sadly. And so, Phoenixes, they'll do a good job. They'll manage to grab a couple of arc lights, but yeah, that melting point outrages them currently, and it's way too tanky. Round number 6, Sabertooth shows up, Wraith, Sandworm, as well as Vulcan. And here my attention kind of immediately gets drawn to the Sandworm. Sabertooth also is worth considering. If it can lock onto the Giants, it'll have way more damage available, but at the same time, it is also kind of weak against this high-level Melter that already has range. So I felt like going Sandworm is more logical, because I have access to things like Mech Div, and that will create just more targets for my opponent to deal with, and more of a front line, which is important because ideally my Hounds survive long enough to clear the chaff, and my Phoenixes get enough uptime to kill the Giants. My opponent goes for the Vulcan, so we now have a Vulcan Melter setup. And keep in mind, he's already picked up the second defense enhancement here. So now matching my attack enhancement, which means that once more, the Arclights, or the Hounds, excuse me, at equal level, won't be able to one-shot his Crawlers for a 1 defense versus a 334 attack. I'm deciding to stack the right side of the board here, picking up some Wasps myself, using a missile on the left in case he tries to deployment module the Wasps on the other flank. And yeah, just kind of trying to pressure the right side tower here with 2 Sandworms, trying to overwhelm, grab a debuff, and then hopefully we can flank his other army, or the other side of his army. I am going to get lit on fire once more. So sadly we will lose our Hounds. But it looks like, yeah, right side doesn't have any DPS for now, so the Sandworm should be completely safe. Left side though, I didn't add any Wasps, so Phoenix will get stuck. And yeah, it really looks like I need to grab myself some Mech Rage, maybe a couple more Hounds. And it doesn't look like the debuff here is going to be very favorable for me. Awful tower timing. We are locked on to the Melter, but yeah, 9 seconds of debuff there. Really not ideal. That pesky Crawler pack really causing issues, and that means we take a little bit more damage, and now we're starting to get to a scarily low amount. Round number 7, some big red spells show up. I decide to pick up the Lightning Storm, also because I feel like I'm somewhat forced to here. I can't afford to lose another round. So I have to at least try and trade. This also allows me to kind of keep pushing the right side for now, as the Storm should be able to get rid of most of the chaff. And then we pick up the Mech Rage to clear the chaff a bit faster, and I decide to elite recruit a few more Hounds. Also going to use 2 shields. That's mostly to protect my Hounds from a potential Storm, as if they go down immediately, then I'm gonna be in a world of hurt. More Melters picked up, Wasps getting moved around. But nothing, okay. Opponent there undoing some moves. Multi-Melter is now the play. That is definitely better against things like Hound and Mech Div Worm, but I feel like if I can scale the Phoenixes and just prevent myself from dying early here, I should be completely fine. I still have this Wasp pack to deal with, so I believe that I will put down a missile on the left side to hopefully catch that. Never mind. Oh, I guess maybe the storm can take care of it, although it is placed kind of in the middle. Let's see. Multi-melters kind of locking on here to my units. I might have tried to go EMP Void Eye as well, but I felt like I could just overwhelm the opponent here. Keep in mind, these rays deal way less damage individually than something like a single melter beam. And it seems like my worms are going to be just fine fighting those melters. But yeah, this wasp pack here, somewhat annoying. Although maybe the missile defending the flank could catch it. If I don't get debuffed, then that would be fantastic. Looks like they get stuck on the shield anyway, but nice missile. And Worm going to take down the melter. So it looks like finally we managed to pick up a round. Thankfully, because we did pick up an expensive spell there. And it's a marginal win as the Vulcan takes down the final Sandworm. But not too unhappy about that. Phoenixes scaling even more. Already getting some level 3s now if I want to. And round number 8. A barrier shows up. Opponent picks it naturally, as it's a very sensible thing to do when you're playing Melters and Vulcans. I decided to go for it too. I felt like it's cheap enough to justify, considering it gives 60k hit points, and it might help protect against, you know, a future spell if this goes until like round 10 and my opponent gets their oil back. But this round, opponent trying to play for an air cheese, going for more wasps here with the shield, and I am not really playing around that. I am trying to go for Charge Shot Phoenix because I felt like I needed the bonus damage against the Melters and especially that level 3 Vulcan. So we'll have to see if we can get through this or not. We're also going to use our own oil to try and light the left side on fire. Again, I'm kind of ignoring this. I think next turn I would be able to go onto the left side as well with my own Phoenixes and maybe a Sandworm as well. But for now, just trying to stall as I'm trying to push into the right side. I do add another wasp to the flank, so maybe that can help out. But yeah, getting through these wasps is going to be the main challenge. Let's see. Melters luckily didn't really pick up a level so far. You will see that the shield goes down pretty quick because of the melter locks, but overall not too bad. Looks like a Sandworm here is going invisible. Okay, it is underground finally. And might be able to kill a melting point. Will do so. Sadly, my Charge Shot Phoenixes, which would be nice to have as a bonus to kill these melting points, are still locked on to the onslaught of wasps. So we're almost through, mind you. If we can just free ourselves for a little bit, we might be able to kill enough giants. We do kill another melter. There's 3 giants left and then some arc lights. Is that going to be enough? 3 giants would add up to 1,050. Make that 1,350 with the arc lights. Oh, and it seems like it is going to be just about enough with the help of those wasps. Half a pack too much there for me to survive. Sadly, we don't get to play another round. I think that this game, I would have definitely had a good chance. I think my Phoenixes would have easily outskilled the Melters here because the range difference is rather stark. And, well, the improved Phoenixes with Charge Shot deal an incredible amount of damage. But yeah, nice way here to finish the game off before it gets too scary for my opponent. Let's briefly try to replay that round, see if we can make a difference. Because, well, I would have to predict that the wasps with shield are coming out, but I'm thinking that is something that, you know, I could try to play around. It is always a bit of a threat. I am gonna take the barrier here, I think, although I might also skip it. Oh, let's just pick it. Why not? And then, what exactly does my turn look like? We probably do want to level these Phoenixes. Temp range, temp speed is going to be important. And then we're probably just going to have to buy a bunch of our own wasps here to try and deal with the enemy wasps. Let's say that I pick range. I feel like that would be more likely just in general if I'm trying to play around that type of a play. Level on the wasps could be useful. And then what else? What else? I guess we could try and retrieve this hound. And I believe that I was trying to play some oil. I'm kind of a fan of that play. I think it looked fine. And then we can just level maybe one of the hounds here. And then let's see. Does that make a difference? I don't have range. I don't have charge on my phoenixes, mind you. So that would be something for next round. But let's see if we can win, or at least survive, if we go for this wasp play. Where I'm going to go in, hounds, I think chaff clearing pretty well. Wasps this time around are connecting to his wasps. Where I'm going to get rid of that melting point. And this is already looking much, much better. Phoenix is going to get freed up. Left side burning. And yeah, with a tower debuff, we even managed to keep 1 or 2 sandworms alive there. I think one of them did die, but yeah, that looks completely fine. And with all the remaining wasps and that sandworm too, we should be able to win the round. Of course, we still have 1300 hit points, so we could have even taken some damage here, but this definitely looked a lot better. And I would have been safe at the very least against the future kind of air shenanigans here, and then we could have gone for charge shot the turn after. Yeah, a bit of a gamble here for me. I barely died, mind you, so I could have maybe survived if the round went a little different. I tried to prioritize damage instead because my opponent had a lot of giants at this stage, but yeah, that was my downfall. But the main thing is, both of us ended up picking a lot of tower buffs. And yeah, that's been something that's been popping up a lot. So if you're playing against enemy Arclights, if you're playing against Hound, I would recommend that you try it out. The defense enhancement especially can be very useful. And then if you're trying to counter someone doing it to you, you might have to match the second attack enhancement. Either way, if you liked the video, please leave a thumbs up. Let me know down below what your thoughts are about this. Have you seen it before? Have you been using it yourself? If you want to stay up to date on my latest content, please consider subscribing. And if you want to see me play live, check me out on Twitch. And with that being said, take care, guys, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.